The things we employees do that stresses our bosses, our employers.
Sometimes for us, as Pastor mentioned, we want to fall into things that we don't have the knowledge or the skills to do. One thing, let me give this example. Say public speaking. There is an event for you as an employee, you want to be there like to maybe present, yet you don't have that skill of public speaking, and you end up speaking nonsense in front of people.
Is that lying in your CV?
That alone will stress your supervisor.
Definitely.
The supervisor will start thinking, how did he or she come about? So that's already stress.
Yes.
But the other thing that I also want to emphasize is there are people who report very early at work. We know the working hours could be like 40 hours.
Yes.
Per week. That means you have like 8 hours. But you find that someone is reporting at work at 7 or even 6, and the person will be the last to leave office maybe at around 8. To me, you are incompetent. Because the time is already there. You have time for your family. Why do you spend time there, yet you have your family there?
Actually, it's stressing you to chase them to go home.
Exactly. It's stressing.
Thank you. Thank you. Desmond, now you just give one addition, that thing you wanted to say.
What stresses the employer or the employee?
Now this time, the employer.
The employer.
Yes. What stresses you as a CEO of Golo Imaging?
When my workers fail to perform, I have to be very stressed. You see, being like what I do, it's like being an entrepreneur is a very difficult situation. Most times, the employees take some things for granted, but they do not know that the employer moves with extra workload in his head overtime work. Even if you are at home, you are thinking about how the organization runs. You have not paid taxes, money is not coming in time, the employees are not performing,
donors are scarce.
So all this causes a lot of stress. Usually I tell people, if you are going to be an entrepreneur or an employer, you must have a thick skin to absorb shock. Otherwise, stress. Entrepreneurship causes stress. It can cause hypertension. It can cause death.
Thank you very much. The last one, death. Yes, Madam Christine, what is that one thing that we as employees we give that stresses our leaders?
I am a female in that organization. I have an immediate supervisor. I have my manager. I have the CEO. I fall in love with my CEO. Will I have respect for my supervisor? I will not. And I will not perform.
Why won't you?
So that will stress my supervisor.
Why won't you have respect for your lover?
Because, no, I am in love with my CEO.
Yes.
But I have an immediate supervisor.
Okay.
I will stress at the end of the whole thing. I will stress the supervisor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, Pastor Martin, what is that one thing that either the teachers or maybe the pastors that they do that really stresses you up as their employer?
Thank you. You know, in our organization, there are 3 C's that we look at when we are employing.
Yes.
The C number 1 is the calling. Are you wired for that job? For example, the church work, even teaching. Many people go for teaching because they fail to make it to certain professions. And you find that you need to spend a lot of time supervising that person to work. Another C is competent. Now, many Ugandans, you know for sure, we carry a lot of degrees and masters and PhD. But when it comes to practical work, you find that you cannot translate it. And we, the employer, we spend a lot of time training them even when they are from the university.
On what they should have known.
Yes, like report writing, taking minutes in the meetings.
You need to hire a specialist.
You need to hire another specialist. You pay that person to work for you, and you need to hire somebody to do our job.
Hallelujah.
And the last one is the character part. As a pastor, I've been so much frustrated to see the moral decadence of Ugandans. Recently, we had to fire 2 PDs. Sometimes they work only for a month and they steal a big money. You know, we deal with children, orphans, and vulnerable children.
Yes.
And somebody just come to work for a month, they want to build a house, they want to buy a car,
buy
they want to do the wedding.
Even wedding.
For me, some of the things that took us 30 years to get, somebody want to do it. So the character part of Ugandan is very, very bad at the place of
thank you,
job.
Pastor.
As the church, for me, normally I say tears and get frustrated. Because you see somebody, even not only that, somebody work, he come with a ring wedded and working for some few months, getting money and pick another woman. At the church level, it is very difficult situation to do that.
Thank you, Pastor.
The more money we make, the more we keep multiplying women. So for me, the character of our nation is bad.
Thank you, Pastor. Gentlemen, Desmond, I hope the more money we have made has not caused us more problems. So Desmond, I am interested in. I would like you to. I would like to know if the impact of unresolved stress or a broken relationship at work. What is that impact that we see?
Negative impacts of stress.
We are interested
at workplace.
in the negative impacts of stress at workplace.
Usually, the negative impacts of the stress, we have physical, okay? We have emotional,
Yes.
behavioral, okay? That is why the other time we talked about stress being a response to an external stimuli. Today we are talking about job stress. Now, job stress, the definition alone is slightly different because it's tailored to what is causing it. Job stress is an emotional, physical response that might occur, okay?
Yes.
When the person's what? Competence, okay? His competence, the job needs, the resources do not match the capabilities of the person doing the job. So it stresses the person and it is harmful to the health. So apart from it being harmful to the health of the worker, it is also harmful to the organization because there is a lot of things which will go upside down. Now, if we start with physical symptoms, the other time we talked about a person having chest pain, headache, difficulties in breathing, palpitations, your heart will keep beating, accelerating, you can have tachycardia, you develop hypertension, and now when you develop hypertension, now you are getting to
Medication.
yes,
now is
sickness.
needed.
You have insomnia, you have a lot of difficulty in sleeping. You're always restless. You try to rest, but you cannot sleep. Stomach upset, you get gastrointestinal disorders. You have running stomach, you eat, you cannot absorb the food. It makes you sick, okay? Now, psychologically, we have depression, anxiety. People feel discouraged. Even a small thing makes them discouraged. They cannot concentrate at work. They do not know actually why they are at work. You get somebody physically sitting at workplace, but
The
he's
mind.
not there.
The mind.
Yes, the mind is not there.
It's not there.
They are easily irritable. Even if you crack a joke, somebody will just get annoyed and start quarreling.
or even extend his hand on you.
Yes. And then some people become pessimistic. They are always having negative thought. They feel everything around them is bad.
Pastor Martin, can I carry my work stress at home? Is it, yeah. What is that impact of the stress at a home level?
Thank you. I call what is transfer of aggression. Transfer of aggression is the boss has quarreled with the wife, go to the office and harass the secretary. The secretary go home and harass the house girl. The house girl beat the dog and the dog bite. The dog bite the dog. So,
And the dog can bite anyone now.
and the dog can also bite anybody. So, stress, that we call it transfer of aggression. Normally, when you have bosses who keep harassing the staff, you see the staff cannot fight back the boss. They will go to their wives, their children, their animals at home, and you find that the home environment is so difficult.
Chaotic.
There is no peace. But also, not only that, last time we mentioned one of the causes of, we call it transfer of aggression. Normally, when you have bosses who keep harassing the staff, you see the staff cannot fight back the boss. They will go to their wives, their children, their animals at home, and you find that the home environment is so difficult.
Chaotic.
There is no peace. But also, not only that, last time we mentioned one of the causes of the problem of the stress. If you are married, you can go home and even fail to perform your marital duties. And that one is so common. And to many people who are working under difficult situation, whether you're a woman, whether what, because you lose appetite, not only for food, but also for other things. So,
Thank you, Pastor. Madam Christine, the stress you have, how does it impact the life of your peers at workplace?
In most cases, when I'm withdrawn, I no longer associate well with my colleagues. I am not going to cooperate with them. Teamwork is going to die.
Okay.
So it will impact
Thank
that
you.
way.
Charles, how does stress impact the beneficiaries or maybe your clients? For instance, if you're running a school and your staff are stressed, does it affect the kids that are being brought or the beneficiaries that we have? Does it has impact?
Thank you so much because you brought the thing of school.
Yes.
If you move around Gulu, you understand that most of the teachers are going through stress because she mentioned something very important about giving contract to teachers.
Yes, yes.
You find that there is this good teacher you have hired, but you have not given contract to the teacher. How do you expect that teacher to have that humility to teach the child that the parents have brought with all the knowledge that he or she has? In most cases, you find that some teachers end up beating even the head of your child. I experienced this in one of the schools, and I had to transfer my child. That comes because you have not paid maybe your teacher, you have not given the contract, and not giving the contract means you will not pay that person. If you are going to pay that person, you will pay after 2 months. Or you will pay the person half of his or her salary. And this is very dangerous. And I think this kind of thing should, the Ministry of Labor and Social
Should take it up.
of the country should take this seriously.
Thank
because
you.
it happens a lot in this country.
Madam Christine, I think I would like to hear more from where you ended. As a professional counselor, how does a positive thinking affect how you resolve your fears, your challenges, your pains as a professional counselor?
Thank you. A positive thinking, just like the other time when I was here, I talked about the mirror miracle. You get yourself to the mirror, talk to yourself, and tell that person you're seeing on the mirror that you can overcome it. You are an overcomer. It is not you. It did not start with you, and it will not end with you. Encourage yourself and know that the world will not end with you.
So for
Seek
you,
counseling. Seek counseling. Share whatever you have, whatever stress you're going through. If you keep quiet, it will keep piling, and it will kill you. It will kill you. Your self-esteem will go down. You'll get wasted, and at the end of it, you develop illnesses that will take you to your grave. So talk to yourself. Talk to somebody that you trust. Pray. Go and seek guidance from your spiritual supervisor, or your somebody you trust, or the pastor, priests in the mosque, imams, all that, so they can help you better. Whatever you're going through, you cannot handle it alone. Somebody outside there has to see you. You can't see yourself better because you're the one inside it. So expose yourself to somebody who can see you better.
thank you very much. Pastor Martin, she talked about seeking for support, but there are some people, I inclusive, I feel afraid to open up. Like if I share out what I'm going through to get help, and then it will become a gossip topic. How can you help such a person? If you feel like you can't seek out, how best can I resolve my stress? If I cannot open, the method of opening up, if it doesn't work for me, what other methods can I employ to get help?
Okay, this is especially applicable to men. You know, men are die hard. The reason why men commit suicide easier than women, because women normally find an expression for their disappointment. You don't see the tears of men, because the tears of men goes inside. The woman tears come out and can be hope. So if you want to hide your feeling, and sometimes become very hard to help you. But if you can find an avenue where you can express yourself,
become vulnerable.
Solutions are ever there. You know, God has created human being. Number one, within you yourself, there is a solution. If you can reach inside you and begin to ask serious questions. I used to be somebody that is so tough for my life because I fear to fail. But I realized that sometimes I need to be vulnerable. I need to cry. As men, I learned that crying is a healthy thing. I ever cried before my wife to solve the marital problem, which men normally say that is a weakness. Why do compare somebody fail to solve the problem and commit suicide, and somebody cry before a woman and the problem is solved? Which one is better? So you need to take life easily, because number one, you are not the only person that is going through that problem, and you can forgive yourself even when you have failed, and there is no need for you to die. Imagine Peter denied Jesus how many times? 3 times.
3 times.
But Judas Iscariot only betrayed Jesus once, and they decided to commit suicide. Those are 2 different scenarios. Judas was so hard, even when he returned the money, he still went and committed suicide. So please, there is hope outside there. So I pray, as a worker or an employee or employer, when you find difficult situation, I normally say, number one, remember that you are not alone in that situation.
Yes.
It is not the first time that it happened to you. It happened to so many people that you can overcome. 2, don't be too hard of yourself. 3, be vulnerable. Sometimes you know, I choose not to be a man in certain things, because they normally say man die hard. In our language, say Latin, but even that okorolao can has problem. So especially I speak to men. Women, in our churches, women come for counseling easily, but men, even sometimes when their wife drag them for counseling, they said, why have you brought me this one? You want pastor to know our secret. And that's why men has everlasting problem, because they don't want to seek for help.
Thank you.
Nobody is God. Nobody is Alpha and Omega. We all make mistakes. And when we can seek hope to be corrected, life will ever be lived well.
Thank you so much.
Be lived well.
Thank you so much. I think conclusively in that area, what Pastor is saying, one, you have to accept what has happened. I think the rest of the team will accept with me that is the longer you stay in denial, the longer you're going to be stressed, the more you're going to be holding upon that issue for a long time. But the moment you accept, okay, I think I should give him. My dad has died, for instance. Even if I cry, even if I wail, even if I beat others, it won't return him. If you've been chucked, even if you cut yourself, the other one has moved on, the other one is enjoying life, or you're here crying alone. So acceptance is very, very important for you to get a recovery. And then the rest now follows. Because if you accept, then now you can seek for support. But if you're still denying, then you can never look for support.